So we are in the last division of the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So the division of the first chapter is the first two slokas were setting up the scene, and third to 13 was Duryodhana's diplomacy. So we saw that Duryodhana was really taken aback. He saw many unexpected things in the battlefield, because of which he has to do a lot of diplomatic efforts to cheer up his party. So even in the material world, we see that when people, when they are losing or when they are not in good position, they try to do politics and they try to be diplomatic and they try to make others fall down. So even it is just not about what happened in the war of Kurukshetra. This battlefield is happening even in our own life. We have people like Duryodhana who are disturbing our mind, who are putting down our efforts, who are letting us to not achieve our goal. So we should be very cautious on how to deal with the people who are political and who are diplomatic, and that may not be helping us. Now Duryodhana, many people joined him, and what did Duryodhana say? Madarte tyakta jivita. They are all ready to lay down my life. So that is what Duryodhana is thinking, because he wants to win at any cost. He doesn't care about others, what is going to happen to others who are all given his side, their side to him. He is not even worried about those people who are supporting him. But Arjuna here, he is compassionate even to, we saw, even to the horses, even to the elephants, even to the foot soldiers, not only to his own relatives and his own teachers and his own friends, but he was having compassion towards all the people in the opposite side. So here we can understand the mentality of Duryodhan and Arjun, how if we associate it with the people like Duryodhana, then it will also be a downfall in our life. It can be our career or it can be our spiritual growth or whatever it is. So now that the purpose of reading Bhagavad Gita or understanding Bhagavad Gita is, we need to follow the path of Arjuna, not the path of Duryodhana. Strength-wise, both were strong. Even Arjun was strong and Duryodhan was also very strong. And he had more armies also. He had Narayana Sena also. But ultimately, because Duryodhan had Durbuddhi, his intelligence was not good. He had a crooked mentality. So we saw about, in one class exclusively, we discussed about the Durbuddhi. So this is what Duryodhan was trying to do, a lot of diplomacy in the sloka 3 to 13. And then the next division was Krishna the Parthasarathi. So we saw many signs of victory in the side of Pandavas. And some of the signs was Madhava present. And most importantly, Krishna was present with Arjuna. And he had the Agni, the chariot gifted by Agni, and his Shanka was transcendental, and he had Hanuman in the flag. So like this we saw, and it shattered the hearts of the Kauravas. So these are some of the signs of victory we saw in the Pandavas side. And then we saw the following section, we saw Krishna Achyuta. So here Arjuna is giving Krishna the order. Senayor Ubayor Madhye Ratam Stapaya Me Achyuta. He is telling, place my chariot in front of two armies. So it's like he appears to be giving order to Krishna. So just because Krishna is infallible, this also we discussed very elaborately on the name Achyuta. Krishna is infallible, whereas we are fallible, we are Chutas. So one should not misunderstood that Krishna has now become a charioteer and he has fallen down from his position. So to come out of the misconception, Arjuna calls him as Achyuta. And Krishna in turn calls Arjuna as Gudakesha. Gudakesha means the one who is not ignorant, the one who has won the ignorance, the one who has won the sleep. Generally, sleep is considered to be ignorant. We have to sleep only particular time that is needed for us. If we have an excessive sleep, that is also a sign of ignorance, tamasic, that is also an ignorance. So Arjuna here, he has conquered the ignorance, but it appears so that, Arjuna is reluctant to flight. Arjuna is behaving differently. He doesn't want to do things. So to avoid that, it was Krishna's plan for Arjuna to fight, because Krishna wanted to give Bhagavad Gita. He wanted to give the Gita Upadesh. How can he give the Upadesh to someone who is not equal to him? Like if somebody is taking an interview of a prime minister, he must be also to that level, who has the complete knowledge about the country, the complete knowledge about how everything works. Not just a common person like you or I cannot go and speak to the prime minister. So similarly, here Krishna has chosen Arjuna, because what are the two qualifications Arjuna had particularly?
He was a friend of Krishna and the disciple of Krishna.
Devotee. Bhaktosi me sakacheti. Yeah. He will become disciple in the second chapter. We will see. But the main thing is he's a devotee and the friend of Krishna. So this is setting up the thing. So if we want to understand Bhagavad Gita, what are the two qualifications that we need? We also should become a devotee of Krishna. And we should accept Krishna as a supreme personality of Godhead. So unless otherwise we have this quality, Krishna says, Bhaktyamam abhijanati. By devotion one can understand. Vedeshu durlabha ma atma bhakto. One cannot understand me by Vedas. It's very difficult. But my atma bhakto, my devotee, can easily understand me. So here Krishna has chosen Arjuna to fight and to give the Upadesh. So what was the first reason that Arjuna is giving for not fighting in the battle? Now we are in the fourth section, the last section, where Arjuna gives namely 4 reasons not to fight. There is a 5th reason, but that doesn't come in this chapter, that is in the next chapter. So the first reason Arjuna gives is
that they are all his family members.
Yeah, compassion. In one word, that is called compassion. That's what we saw. He didn't want to even harm the people in the other side who are even his opponents. Forget about his relatives also. He had a compassion. Compassion means feeling the pain of others. Pity means you're just feeling sorry for others. But compassion means you feel the other's pain. That is called the compassion. So Arjuna is feeling the other's pain. He said, how can I fight with my own people? So that is what Arjuna is having the compassion. So that is from Sloka Kripaya Paraya Vishtu. What did Arjuna says here? By compassion, Kripaya. You can see that Paraya Vishtu. He was overcome by compassion. He was so much in compassion that what was happening because of the compassion? What were the body signs that were happening? What happened to Arjuna? That was literally shown in his body. So what are those bodily signs which Arjuna showed?
That the bow and arrow was slipping from his hand.
Yeah.
His
Gandiva. We saw particularly the Gandiva is very, very dear to Arjuna. Even when Yudhishthir once they put down your Gandiva, he went to the extent of killing Yudhishthir. And that Gandiva was slipping from Arjuna's hand. Yeah. And then what was happening to his limbs? His limbs were
trembling.
And his mouth was drying up. And his whole body was trembling. Yeah, shivering or trembling. And his hairs was standing on one leg.
Yeah.
And his hands, the Gandiva was slipping. His skin was
burning.
So this happens even to us when we are in stress. Don't we have the same feelings?
Yeah.
Our body trembles, our skin starts burning, and our legs. He was not even able to stand. These 2 things we will see in today's sloka. And forgetting myself and mind is reeling. He's getting totally bewildered. He is just thinking, oh wait, why am I here? What am I going to do here? Like that, sometimes we are completely left out blank. We just do not know what we are doing, right? So this is the situation what Arjuna is facing through. And then the second reason for Arjuna not to fight is loss of enjoyment. He thinks, what is the enjoyment that I will have by killing my own friends, my own relatives? So even for us to have fun, we need friends, we need relatives. शादी क्यों मनाते हैं इतने जो? Why do we make an elaborate wedding?
To enjoy
Because we
with
need to
our
share
own
the happiness with many
happiness.
people. No, otherwise, what is the purpose of doing it very elaborately? Because happiness is something we need people to share. So Arjuna thinks, if there are no people left over, what is the purpose of my kingdom? What does it help? Where would be the enjoyment, he thinks. And then the third reason is fear of sinful reactions. He thinks killing the grandfather is sin. Killing the teacher is a sin. Killing is a sin. So if I am doing lot of papa, by doing this, if I'm getting papa, why should I do? So that is his third reason. And then the fourth reason is destruction of the family tradition. Because the men are involved in the battlefield. So if they lose their life, what will happen to the women in the family?
They'll be widow and they'll be
Widowed. And what happens? Some men can take advantage of the woman who is single. That's why a woman is always protected by father until she gets
Husband.
married, and by husband when she is married. And because we had followed Varnashrama Dharma, there was sannyasa also. So that is the time when the man goes out. He hands over the wife to the elderly son. So this is how a woman is always protected, because if a woman is left all alone, it can so happen that, the men can take advantage of her, because of which there will be unwanted progeny. What is unwanted progeny? They will cause a lot of disturbance in the society, because their mentality is totally asuric. Because we have certain samskaras that are purifying. Why are we doing the marriage? Why do we do the baby shower? Why do we do all these samskaras? These samskaras are there to purify us. Why do we do Anna Pradiksha for the baby? Why do we do the Namakarna? We have so many samskaras. In fact, there are 12 samskaras, which we will do when we come there. But will these things happen for a child who is born fatherless and everything? Will the Varna Shankara? So that will cause unwanted disturbance in the society. That is the fourth reason. And the fifth reason is, that is not in this chapter, that is in the next chapter, where Arjuna becomes totally indecisive. He just does not know what to do. Okay, so we have done the first reason. Today's class, we will focus on the second reason, where Arjuna is
Loss of
thinking about the
enjoyment.
loss of enjoyment. So let's start with the sloka number 30. Please repeat after me. Na cha shaknomyavastatum
न च शक्नोमि अवस्थातुम्
भ्रमतीव च मे मनः
भ्रमतीव च मे वना
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि
विपरीतानि केशव
विपरीतानि केशव
न च शक्नोम्यवस्थातुम्
न च शक्नोमि अवस्थातुम्
भ्रमतीव च मे मनः
भ्रमतीव च मे नमः
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि
विपरीतानि केशव.
विपरीतानि केशव.
Who would like to do this? Lekha
Mataji.
Mataji, would you like to do? I don't see her. Okay, Shweta Mataji, would you like to do? Yeah.
Yeah. न च शक्नोमि अवस्थातुम्
न च
न च शक्नोमि अवस्थातुम्
भ्रमतीव च मे मनः
भ्रमतीव च
भ्रमतीव
मे
च मे
मनः
वनः
निमित्तानि च पश्यामि
निमित्तानि च
निमित्तानि च
पश्यामि
पश्यामि
विपरीतानि केशव
विपरीतानि
विपरीतानि
केशव.
केशव
न नोर cha also shaknomi, am I able, avasthatum, to stay, Brahmati, forgetting, eva, as, cha, and me, my manaha, mind, nimittani, causes, cha, also, pashyami, I see, viparitani, just the opposite, Keshava, O killer of the demon, Keshi. I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself and my mind is reeling. I see only causes of misfortune, O Krishna, killer of the Keshi demon. Kesi demon. Should I continue?
Yeah, please, please.
Purport. Due to his impatience, Arjuna was unable to stay on the battlefield, and he was forgetting himself on account of this weakness of his mind. Excessive attachment for material things puts a man in such a bewildering condition of existence. Bhavyam divityabhinavishtaha Prata, Bhagavad Gita 11.2.37. Such fearfulness and loss of mental equilibrium takes place in persons who are too affected by material conditions. Arjuna envisioned only painful reverses in the battlefield. He would not be happy even by gaining victory over the foe. The words nimitta, sorry, the words nimittani, viparitani are significant. When a man sees only frustration in his expectations, he thinks, why am I here? Everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare. No one is interested in the Supreme Self. Arjuna is showing ignorance of his real self interest by Krishna's will. Once real self interest lies in Vishnu or Krishna, the conditioned soul forgets this and therefore suffers material pains. Arjuna thought that his victory in the battle would only be a cause of lamentation for him. Sorry
नमो
for my
विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिविकास स्वामीति नामिने नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद. So here Arjuna, what is he thinking? He's thought that he has come here to regain his kingdom. But what he is seeing is exactly the opposite. I have come here to do something, but what I am seeing is exactly the opposite. Because he thinks that even if I'm winning the kingdom, all my relatives, they are going to die. If they are all going to die, then where is the enjoyment going to be? What is the purpose of gaining the kingdom at the cost of losing everyone? Even in today's world, most of the things that we do is we earn, we do many things in the life. We study very nicely, we build a good house, we buy a nice car, and we accumulate a lot of wealth. Do we do it for the sake of Krishna, or we are just doing it for the sake of our society? We think, in front of the society, I should be respected. I should be looked upon. In front of my relatives, they should think that, I have achieved something good. I have built a nice home. I have got a nice car. My friends should think great about me. So everything that we are doing in today's world is not just for Krishna. We are doing everything for our own self-interest. That's what you can see in the purport here, where Prabhupada has said that the word, why everyone is interested in himself and his own welfare, no one is interested in the Supreme Self. Nate vidur swartha gatimna Vishnu. Even they are approaching Krishna, they approach because they have their own self-interest. You go to the temple and you're giving a list of things to Krishna. Krishna, I want this, I want that. Please get this done to me. I have done these things to you. Please. We are going with a big list of desires when we go to the God. We are not going to the temple for the service of Krishna, whereas we are going to the temple to fulfill our own desires. Like many people, they go to the temple, and even going to the temple, they think, what is in for me? I would like to enjoy the kirtan. I would like to enjoy the prasadam. I would like to enjoy. What do I get out of that particular thing, rather than thinking that what can I do for Krishna? In fact, there are people who are very affordable, but you ask them to do some donations for prasadam seva or for book or for some temple functions or constructions or anything, they will not be ready to give even a little bit of penny, because for them their entire purpose is only to satisfy their own self, to accumulate their own desires. Yes, people are doing that. They are accumulating, they are doing a lot of things for themselves. But are they happy? Finally, are they getting that happiness by doing things which are just satisfying their own self? It so happens a man accumulates a lot of wealth. He accumulates, and even at the end of the years, when he wants to do something for himself, the family does not allow him. The family is expecting from that man, do more, do more. Because as long as we are serving the Maya, we will never be getting satisfaction. Because Maya's thing is, it makes us to do more and more and more. And it never gives us happiness. Either way, our constitutional position is Jivera Swarupa Hoy, Nityera Krishna Das. We are all the eternal servants of Krishna. So being the servant is our constitutional position. So either we become the servant of Krishna or we become the servant of Maya. But our position is not going to change being the servant. Even in the material world, we are servant of many things. We are servant of our husbands, we are servant of our society, we are servant of this, we are servant of our children also. These children also says, do this, do that to me, right? So we are becoming servants of many people, many things. But as long as we do not become the servants of Krishna, then becoming the servants of other things, that will not going to give us happiness. So better we understand our constitutional position, being the servant of Krishna. So what does the Buddhist philosophy says? The Buddhist philosophy says, make everything zero. Because they think, because mentality of few people, they are not very intelligent. They are quite foolish. So they think that if I want to do the same service in the spiritual world, if I want to become a servant in spiritual world, what is the point of going there? I already was a servant here. So to become a servant in another place, what is the thing that I want to do? So they try to negate everything. They just want to stop all the activities. Nirvishesha, Shunyavadi. They want to make everything zero. But we cannot make everything zero. You cannot make your desire desireless. Right? Desire is a part of the soul. We all have the desires. That we cannot become desireless. If we become desireless, then what we become? Are we not equal to a stone by being desireless? It's not our position, because Krishna is supremely independent and we are also minutely independent. So Krishna does not take out our independence. Yes, Krishna demands us to surrender. He says, Sarvadharman parityacha mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami masuja. He says that surrender to me and I will give you liberation. Do not fear. He is requesting us, but he is not forcing us. Some people, they ask, why does Krishna make us suffer when we are his children? So was it Krishna's will to make us suffer, or it is our own desires that we are suffering?
Our own desires.
Our own desires. Krishna did not want us to suffer. He has given us the way to come out of the sufferings. But are we following that? We are not following that, and then we blame the God. We say that, God is making me to suffer. I have done so many things. I have not done anything bad. It is because of our own desires and our own karma that we are suffering. So Krishna has not done anything to us. So otherwise, it will be like, for example, just like a robot. We have a robot. The robot will do all the functions that we have, that we want to do. But can you have a personal relation with the robot? You can get the robot, do this work, do that work and everything. But will you be able to have that personal relation with the robot? For personal relationship, you need to talk with the person. It can so happen that they may agree with you or they may not agree with you, but that doesn't matter. But the happiness comes when they voluntarily do things for you. Like the children, when they are voluntarily doing some help to you, we are very happy. When we are forcefully making them to do something, okay, we think, okay, they have done what I asked them to do, but will we be happy? We will not be happy. So here Krishna is requesting us, Sarvadharman Parityacha Mam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Surrender to me and I will get you out of all the sinful reactions. So let us take the example of Mahatma Gandhi. He worked very hard for the independence of our country. Day and night, he has given his complete heart for the independence. Why he wanted to give independence to India? So that he thought that people will be enjoying the independence. But what happened to Mahatma Gandhi? Just the day before Mahatma Gandhi, when he died, just the day before, Gandhi was thinking that, he was very unhappy. He was thinking, it is better that I leave my body, I leave my life. And the next day, what happened to Gandhi? His own
Was shot
people
dead.
killed him. So this is happening in the material world. Nimittani viparitani. You do one thing, you are expecting one thing, and what happens to you is exactly opposite. Like Gandhiji, for the happiness, he wanted to give the kingdom to the India to India. He gained independence to India because he thought that by gaining independence, people will be happy. But the same people for whom he fought for independence, he didn't want the disunity among the Muslims and Hindus, but they parted. That made Gandhi very, very sad. He became very unhappy because for whatever purpose he has been working so hard, giving his life and soul for the purpose of independence. And what happened was totally opposite.
Opposite.
So this is what happened. Nimittani viparitani. We do one thing, we aspire one thing, and what happens is exactly opposite. It has happened many times in our own life also. If we are trying to recollect many incidents, we are trying to do something, expecting something. But what happens is totally opposite to what we think, because this is a material world. Let's take the job interviews. Google. If there is an interview by Google, if they are just calling for a walk-in interview, how many people will come to attend the interview? Let's say there are some 200 vacancies. There may be some 20,000 people who will come and appear for the interview. Each and every person is coming to the interview with the hope of getting the job. But what is the percentage of the people who are going to get selected? Very, very less. Probably 1% of the people are going to get selected. What is going to happen to the rest of the 99% of the people? Nimittani viparitani. They come for one thing, and what happens to them is exactly opposite. NEET exam. So many people are appearing. People are working day and night for 2 years, 3 years. IIT, JEE. So many people are working. UPSC exam. So many people are working. But how many people are getting success? When you are studying, we are in the hope of getting through. Nobody studies with no hope of getting through. Isn't it? Why does somebody prepare for NEET?
To go pass through the entry.
To pass through the entry. So you are doing something because you know that by doing that, you will get into a medical college and you want to become a doctor. So you are having that aspiration. But what happens to many? The chances of the people getting into the medical college with the number of entries, how many percentage? Maybe 5%. What is happening to the rest of the 95%? Nimittani viparitani. So recently, I saw that during the book distribution, one boy, 2 years he has taken dropout to appear for NEET. And he was very, very unhappy. He was so sad, looking at some people itself, you can understand, they are very morose, they are very sad, there's no cheer and everything. And he said, I am so much bewildered, I don't know what to do. I have been keep on appearing. I'm so frustrated, I'm so depressed. So this is what happening to many people. Today, people are in the job, they get whatever they want, even after entering there. How many people are actually happy doing the job? Nimittani viparitani. In any concern you go, if you take the statistics of the happiness quotient of the people working in the job, it will be hardly 2 to 3%. And if you're taking the number of people who are getting frustrated and depressed, easily 50-60% of the people working in any concern will be depressed. Because they don't like to work, they don't like to do. But because we became the servant of Maya, we have to do the dictations of what Maya is telling us to do. We become the servants of a boss, we become servant of the husband, we become servant of this, we become servant of that. But actually, what is Krishna? What is our actual constitutional position? Jivera Swarupa ho Nityera Krishna Das. But when you are becoming the servant of Krishna, Krishna is not treating us as a slave. What did he become for Arjuna?
The charioteer.
Charity. What did he do for Sudama?
He washed his feet and he...
Sudama didn't even do anything for Krishna. He was just his friend during the Gurukul time. Why did our Krishna do all the things for the devotees? Does Krishna is a boss? Because you surrender to him, Krishna makes us a slave? He doesn't make us a slave, but he takes the other position. He goes to the extent of protecting his devotee at any cost. So this particular word is very important for us, that nimittani viparitani. So what Arjuna is facing, he thought of something. He thought that he wants to regain the kingdom because it was a Kshatriya's duty to be an administrator and rule the kingdom. But when he saw everybody in front of him, what did he thought? I came for something, but what I seeing is something completely opposite. What enjoyment I will get by killing my kinsmen? Where is the enjoyment for me? So that is what Arjuna is saying through this verse. So is it clear, this particular verse?
Yeah.
Can we go to the next verse? Nacha shreyanu pashyami.
Nacha shreyo nupashyami.
Hatva svajanam ahave.
Hatva svajanam ahave.
Nakankshe vijayam Krishna.
Nakanshe vijaya Krishna.
Nacha rajyam sukhani cha.
Nacha rajyam shukhani cha.
Nacha shrinu pashyami.
Nacha shreyo nupashyami.
Hatva svajanam ahave.
Hatva svajanam ahave.
Nakankshe vijayam Krishna.
Nakanshe vijayam Krishna.
Nacha rajyam sukhani cha.
Nacha rajyam shukhani cha.
Who would like to do this verse? Lekha Mataji, would you like to do?
Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah.
Nacha shreyo nu vashyami.
Nacha
Nacha
shreyo
shreyo
pashyami.
nupashyami.
Hatva swajanam ahave.
Hatva
Atva
svajanamahave.
svajanamahave.
Na kangshe vijayam Krishna.
Na
Na
kangshe
kangsheya
vijayam
vijayam
Krishna.
Krishna.
Na cha rajyam sukhani cha.
Na cha
Na
rajyam
kajam
sukhani
sukhani
cha.
cha.
Na no nor cha also Shreya good. Anupashyami do I foresee. Hatva by killing. Swajanam own kinsman. Ahave in the fight. Na nor Kangshe do I desire. Vijayam victory. Krishna O Krishna. Na nor cha also Rajyam kingdom. Sukhani happiness thereof. Cha also. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsman in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. Purport. Without knowing that one's self interest is in Vishnu or Krishna, conditioned souls are attracted by bodily relationships, hoping to be happy in such situations. In such a blind conception of life, they forget even the causes of material happiness. Arjun appears to have even forgotten the moral code for a Kshatriya. It is said that two kinds of men, namely the Kshatriya who dies directly in front of the battlefield under Krishna's personal orders, and the person in the renounced order of life who is absolutely devoted to spiritual culture, are eligible to enter into the sun globe, which is so powerful and dazzling. Arjun is reluctant even to kill his enemies, let alone his relatives. He thinks that by killing his kinsmen, there would be no happiness in his life, and therefore he is not willing to fight. Just as a person who does not feel hunger is not inclined to cook. He has now decided to go into the forest and live a secluded life in frustration. But as a Kshatriya, he requires a kingdom for his subsistence because the Kshatriyas cannot engage themselves in any other occupation. But Arjun has no kingdom. Arjun's sole opportunity for gaining a kingdom lies in fighting with his cousins and brothers and reclaiming the kingdom inherited from his father, which he does not like to do. Therefore, he considers himself fit to go to the forest to live a secluded life of frustration.
Yeah. So we can see that this war is between dharma and adharma. So here Arjun is fighting against adharma, or he's fighting against his own friends and relatives. So what did Arjun forget here?
That he is a Kshatriya.
He's a Kshatriya and it is a dharmic war. So he has to fight against the adharma. That is his responsibility, to fight against the adharma. So suppose you're not hungry and you decided that you don't want to eat and you don't want to cook. But if your family members are hungry, just because you're not hungry, you cannot stay out from cooking.
Yeah.
You have to cook for them.
Yeah.
Ekadashi day, we don't eat anything, so no need to cook. But we make the family members also to starve.
We have to get into kitchen for them.
Yeah, we have to get into the kitchen, right? So here, just because Arjuna thinks that, what happiness I will get by killing my own friends, my own relatives and everything, and he wanted to go back. So just because he doesn't want, so does that mean that Arjuna will let the adharma to be on the rise? So
No.
is it the right thing for Arjuna to do that?
No.
No.
So that is what here it is Prabhupada has mentioned here. Like one who is not inclined to eat may not cook. Right? So here Arjuna, because he thinks that what enjoyment I am going to get, so he thinks, why in the first place that I have to fight? What is the purpose of fighting when I'm not going to get anything, when there is no enjoyment or nothing at all? So what is the point for me in fighting? So here Arjuna seems to have forgotten the moral codes of Kshatriya. Moral code of Kshatriya is to establish the dharma. That is a moral code. Everybody has given some moral code. For you being a housewife, you have some moral code. You're being a student, you have some moral code. Everybody has their own moral codes. Here, the duty of the Arjuna as a Kshatriya is to establish the dharma. And Krishna wanted him to do so. He chose him to do so. Yes, Krishna would have done everything. Krishna would have killed everyone. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuktanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham. Yes, he has come to establish the dharma. But to whom Krishna wants to give this credit?
Arjuna.
He wants to give the credit to his devotees. He wanted Arjuna to be victorious. That was a plan of Krishna. So here, Krishna wants Arjuna to fight, because we saw that there was, during the peace negotiation, the Pandavas, they only requested for 5 villages. So each one can administer at least 1 village. What was the response by the Dhritarashtra for that? What did he say?
Want to give a needle size of land.
Yeah, so that is what the response it came. So now, Arjuna being a Kshatriya, does it look good for him to renounce everything and go and live in the forest? No. Is that how a Kshatriya should behave? No. He was not only Kshatriya by birth, he was also a Kshatriya by quality. Like Krishna said, Chaturvarnam Maya Srishtam Gunakarma Vibhagasya. The 4 divisions of the society is based on the karma and guna, not on the birth. But if we even take that, okay, he was born as a Kshatriya and Arjuna was the greatest Kshatriya. In the previous class, we saw how valiant was Arjuna. Arjuna even practiced the art of targeting the invisible objects. Remember what we heard in the previous class? When he thought that he can eat without the light, he thought by practicing regularly, I can also target the invisible objects.
Yes.
So such powerful warrior was Arjuna. He has everything, and Gandiva was so powerful that even if you're just ringing the Gandiva, the sound that the Gandiva makes, that will cause a fear in the opponent's heart. Like sometime when we hear a heavy thunder, are we not getting scared by hearing that sound? We get scared that thunder causes a lot of fear, that sound. And Gandiva's sound is like million times that of a thunder. So you can imagine what kind of weapons Arjuna had and how powerful he was. And now how Arjuna is behaving. He is behaving totally opposite. And yes, we should not think that Arjuna is doing it. He was ignorant, but Arjuna is doing it by Krishna's will. So there is a verse in Bhagavatam which says, Nate vidu shashvatim na vishnum durashaya e bahira manina. So this says that persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying the material life and who have therefore accepted their leader or guru or similar blind men attached to the external sense object cannot understand the goal of life. And what is the goal of life? Goal of life is to
surrender to Krishna.
Surrender to Krishna. Why do we surrender? To return back home, back to Godhead. Yeah. We don't want to come back again and again in this material world and have a repeated birth and death. Because punascha chavitam, the same thing we are chewing again and again and again. Every birth we are doing the same thing. Every birth we are trying to enjoy the senses. Every birth we are dissatisfied with our senses. And then we leave the body. And then again we take another body to satisfy our senses. Again we get frustrated. So we are doing this again and again. So what is the goal of an intelligent person is to go back home, back to Godhead. But those persons who are entrapped, who are too much in the materialistic life, Bhogaishwarya prasannatam taya pahrita chetasam. Krishna, he says in the second chapter, for those people who are too much in enjoying the senses, who are too much entrapped in this material world, Vyavasayatmika Buddhi, they cannot have one point focused attachment on Krishna. So it's not like you have two legs. One leg is following the materialistic life, another leg is following the spiritual life. Yes, you're moving one leg of your spiritual life. Now you're hearing Bhagavad Gita, you're reading Bhagavad Gita, you're chanting, you're eating prasadam. All these things are the spiritual path you're taking, and one leg is going forward. And the second leg is the material world, and it is taking you back. Then how will you go forward? You will be like just paddling like this, like this. So on Sunday class, we are hearing Bhagavad Gita, we go one step spiritually ahead. Then rest of the week, we are associated with the materialistic people and we are associated with their materialistic thought. Then this leg, which is our material life, also goes forward. And then the next thing, the spiritual life goes, and then the material world goes. So by doing though, do we really progress?
No.
We do not progress because this material thing is taking us back. It's like a boat. You can keep on rowing, rowing, rowing. But if the boat is anchored, will that rowing help you anyway?
No.
So similarly, if you're too much attached to the material things, even though we are following the spiritual path of rowing the boat by chanting and everything, that attachment will not help us to go further. It will trap us. It will, every step we go, we are retract back by this material consciousness. So that is why it is important that we need to associate with the devotees. And we have to do things that are favorable to Krishna consciousness and reject things that are unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. So as a blind man guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall into the ditch, what in case one blind man is guided by another blind man? Will
They
it
won't
help
miss.
the blind man?
No.
A blind man should take whose support?
Who's
The
having
person who
eyes?
can see.
Yeah.
We are all blinded by the material attachments. So if we are taking shelter of another person who is also materially attached, then where we will go?
We'll
So
get more.
like that, in one of the purport, Prabhupada said, a bound cannot release the bound. If your hands are already cuffed, how will you help to remove the cuff of other person? First, your hand should be free.
Yeah.
So therefore, we need to take the shelter of the spiritual master. Therefore, we need to take the association of the advanced devotees who has come out of this material entanglement. So by their mercy, by their association, we can come out of the clutches of the material world. Okay, are bound by the ropes of creative labor, which are made by very strong cords, and they continue again and again in materialistic life, suffering the threefold miseries. What are the threefold miseries that we have studied previously? Anybody remembers that?
Adi Daivik, Adi Bhav.
Adi Dautik and Adhyatmik.
Yeah.
Miseries due to our own mind and body, miseries due to the other living entity, and miseries due to the natural calamities. Day in and day out, we are facing these three miseries. Correct?
Yeah.
Every day we are facing this misery. So how do we come out of this? So by taking shelter of those Krishna and his devotees and his spiritual master and the advanced devotee. So this is a way one can come out of the clutches of this material world. Otherwise, we will also be very much bewildered here, like how Arjuna was
bewildered in the battle.
Here. Arjuna, he had all the capacity to fight. Above all, whom he had?
Krishna.
He had Krishna. Previously, in the last class, we heard this pastime where Arjuna single-handedly defeated all the Kauravas. When Duryodhana came to attack them, he was supporting the Uttar Kumar. And Arjuna was not even in his real form. He was as Brihatnala. He was in a disguised form. And he didn't even have full weapons. He used not his chariot. He used the chariot of Uttar Kumar. He had only few weapons which were his own. Otherwise, the weapons were also not his own weapons. The weapons were from others that he borrowed. So that Arjuna, who did not even have proper weapons, who did not have anything, and single-handedly, he was acting like a woman, not even in the form of a man. He could defeat everyone. That same Arjuna, now why he is not ready to fight? Because of the attachment. Arjuna is showing the excessive family attachment. So that attachment will not help us to do our prescribed duty. So we should try to come out of the excessive family attachment. So that is the message we are getting from this sloka. Is it clear? Like another word, Prabhupada said that it is mentioned that whomsoever leaves the body in the battlefield, they directly get moksha. They enter the Brahmajyoti. Or even a saintly person, they enter the Brahmajyoti. So Krishna wants to say, Arjuna, why? What is the fear? Even if they die, they are going to attain moksha. It's not that they are going to put in a more abominable condition. A Kshatriya who dies in the battlefield will go where? Will he take birth again? No. He's going to get moksha, provided it is a dharmic war. So we cannot expect the people who are laying down their lives in Russia, Ukraine, or Israel, Palestine to go to the Sanklo, because it is not a dharmic war. Okay. So one should understand that. So this is what Prabhupada has mentioned in the purport, that either way, they are going to be in a proper position. They are going to be benefited. Even if they die, the death is only to the body, but not for the soul. And the soul is getting elevated to a higher place, not to a lower place. So this is what we learn from this sloka. Can we go to the next sloka? Kim no rajena govinda.
Kim no rajya govinda.
Kim bhogai jivitena va.
Kim bhogai jivitena va.
Esha marte kangshitam no.
Esham artha kangshitam no.
Rajyam bhoga sukani cha.
Rajyam bhoga shukani cha.
Taime vastita yuddhe.
Taite vastite yuga.
Pranam tyaktva danani cha.
Pranam tattva dani cha.
Acharya pitara putras.
Acharya pitara putra.
Tataiva cha pitamaha.
Tataiva cha pitamaha.
Matula shashura pautra.
Matula shura pautra.
Shala sambandhina stita.
Shala sambandhina stita.
Etana hantumichami.
Etana hantu shami.
Tantopi madhusudana.
Klantopi madhusudana.
Api trailokya rajyasya.
Api trailokya rajasya.
To kim mahi krite.
Hito kipnu mahikrite.
Satyadadarashrasya.
Nityatra rajas
Ka priti sya janartana.
kapritisya janata.
Janartana.
Janardana.
Okay, so I think this sloka, if we repeat, it will take time. So we will go with the word-to-word meaning and translation. Maybe I will post the sloka in the group for pronunciation properly.
Yes.
Mataji.
Okay, who would like to do the meaning and the translation? Uma Mataji, would you like to do? Yeah.
I will do Mataji. Kim, what use? Na, to use. Rajniyena is the kingdom. Govinda, O Krishna. Kim, what? Bhojai, enjoyment. It's Bogai. Bogai, enjoyment. Enjoyment. Jivitena, living. Va, either. Yesham, of whom. Arte, for the sake. Kankshitam, is desired. Na, pious, Rajyam, kingdom, Bhogai, material enjoyment, Sukhani, all happiness, Cha, also, Te, all of them, Ime, these, Avastita, situated, Dute, on this battlefield, Pranan, lives, Tyaktva, Tyaktva, giving up, Dhanani, riches, Cha, also, Acharya, teachers, Pitara, Pitra, fathers, Putra, sons, Tata, as well as, Eva, certainly, Cha, also, Pitamaha, grandfathers, Matula, material uncles,
Maternal uncles.
maternal uncles,
Yeah.
Swasura, Sasura, father-in-law, Pautra, grandsons, Shyala, brothers-in-law, Sambandina, relatives, Tata, as well as Itan, all these, Na, never, Hantam, to kill, Ichami, do I wish, Gnata, being killed, Api, even, Madhusudana, O killer of the demon Madhu, that is Krishna, Api, even if, Trilokya, of the three worlds, Rajasya, for the kingdom, Hito, in exchange, Kimnu, what to speak of, Mahikrite, for the sake of the earth, Nihatya, by killing, Datas,
Dadarashtraran.
Dadrastas, sorry, ma'am.
Dadarashtran.
Dradrashtra, the sons of Dhritarashtra, Na, our, Ka, what, Piti, pleasure, Priti, pleasure, Syat, will there be, Janardhana, O maintainer of all the living entities. Translation, O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield? O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, material uncles, father-in-law, grandsons, brother-in-laws, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra?
So here we
Purport by
can say
Prabhu.
exactly he's telling what pleasure, what happiness I will get by killing them. And he is ready to even give up the three worlds. Even if you give three worlds, what is the pleasure? Yes, Mataji, you can read the purport.
Purport by Prabhupada. Arjuna has addressed Lord Krishna as Govinda because Krishna is the object of all pleasures for cows and the senses. By using this significant word, Arjuna indicates that Krishna should understand what will satisfy Arjuna's senses. But Govinda is not meant for satisfying our senses. If we try to satisfy the senses of Govinda, however, then automatically our own senses are satisfied. Materially, everyone wants to satisfy his senses, and he wants God to be the order supplier for such satisfaction. The Lord will satisfy the senses of the living entities as much as they deserve, but not to the extent that they may
covered.
They may covet. But when one takes the opposite way, namely, when one tries to satisfy the senses of Govinda without desiring to satisfy one's own senses, then by the grace of Govinda, all desires of the living entity are satisfied.
Mataji, we'll stop here. We will see till this and then we will read the rest of the purport. So here Krishna is addressed as Govinda. Govinda means the one who gives pleasure to. Go means cow and also go means senses. So Krishna is the one who gives the pleasure to the cow and the senses. So we have done this sloka many times. I have taken in the class. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tat paratvena nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti ruchyate. Who is Krishna? Rishikesha. He is the master of senses. So by satisfying the senses of Krishna, what happens to our own senses?
Get satisfied.
Our senses get satisfied. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam, sarva upadi, we come out of all kind of designation. Whatever designation we are giving right now is not our real designation, like being a woman, being an Indian, this, that, everything, or not the real designation. Real designation is eternal servant of Krishna. Jivera Swarupa Hoy Krishnera Nityadas. Tat Paratvena Nirmalam, and our senses gets purified. So, like watering the roots. When we water the roots, what happens to the entire tree or the plant?
Will get nourished.
The entire tree or the plant get nourished. But if you're only trying to water the leaf, if you're only trying to water the twigs, if you're only trying to water the branch, will that help the overall health of the tree?
No.
No.
So the actual way of nourishing the tree is by watering the roots. So similarly, we being the part and parcel of Krishna, Mamaivangshu Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. So we should be also serving the whole, not the part. Like the fingers. If the fingers think why only the stomach should be the enjoyer, the finger thinks the finger should be an enjoyment. Can the finger satisfy its pleasure without putting it in the stomach? It
No.
cannot. If we just cut off the finger from our body, the finger will have no value, absolutely no value. What can this finger do? Nothing.
Not-
As long as the finger is attached to the body, then the finger also gets nourished. But once we cut off, so as long as we are serving the senses of Krishna, our senses gets nourished. But if we are trying to serve our own senses, we try to eat something which we think that will give pleasure to our tongue, that is not offered to Krishna, then what is it? We are trying to satisfy our own senses. We are trying to see something where there is no Krishna consciousness or anything. Then what is the eyes doing? The eyes is satisfying its own senses. We are hearing material music. What does that ears do if it doesn't have Krishna? So the ear is trying to satisfy its own senses. So like that, we are all trying to satisfy our senses for very, very long time. Every lifetime we take, we try to satisfy our senses, but it is very difficult to satisfy our senses. So the best way to satisfy our senses is by satisfying the senses of Krishna. Use your eyes to see the darshan of Krishna. Nice, every website you can go, Juhu, ISKCON, every place, Vrindavan. You can take, our eyes like to see something nice. It's also our constitutional position is we like to have desire. We cannot be desireless. But how do we engage it? We cannot shut down our eyes and say that now I am not going to do anything. Desire is there, but how will you use the desire? Use the nose to smell the nice flowers that is offered to Krishna. Use the tongue to taste Krishna Prasadam. Use the hands to clean the temple of Krishna. Use the legs to go to the temple of Krishna. Use your head to bow down to Krishna. So similarly, we can use all our senses. We can engage in the service of Krishna. So when we are engaged ourselves in the service of Krishna, our senses gets automatically satisfied. Okay, that is what explained here. Govinda means one who gives pleasure to the senses. That's why his name is called Govinda. But
Govinda.
where do we go? We go to Tirupati, we go here, we go with the list of things. Krishna, I wanted this. I want my son to get good marks in the exams. I want my husband to get job promotion. Krishna, give me some job. I am now jobless. Give me something. Give me this, give me that. Like that, we are going with many things. Even though we are approaching the Lord, we are only going for our own purpose, our own self-interest. But we do not think that we are going there so that we are giving pleasure to Krishna. So now here Arjuna, he is acting at his own pleasure. He did not think that here he has Rishikesha. He has to act according to Krishna's will, not according to his will. So here Arjuna is perplexed because he thought of doing things as per his will. He thought, how can I fight against them? What pleasure I get? So Arjuna is deciding what is pleasure for him. Okay, so that is what here Prabhupada has beautifully explained with the word Govinda. Okay, Mataji, you can continue reading the rest of the purport.
Arjuna's deep affection for community and family members is exhibited here partly due to his natural compassion for them. He is therefore not prepared to fight. Everyone wants to show his opulence to friends and relatives, but Arjuna fears that all his relatives and friends will be killed on the battlefield and he will be unable to share his opulence after victory. This is the typical calculation of material life. The transcendental life, however, is different. Since a devotee wants to satisfy the desires of the Lord, he can, Lord willing, accept all kinds of opulence for the service of the Lord. And if the Lord is not willing, he should not accept the farthing. Farthing? What is the meaning of farthing?
Farthing means nothing. If Lord is not giving, okay, that's fine. So it doesn't matter.
Arjuna did not want to kill his relatives, and if there were any need to kill them, he desired that Krishna kill them personally. At this point, he did not know that Krishna had already killed them before their coming into the battlefield, and that he was only to become an instrument for Krishna. This fact is disclosed in following chapters. As a natural devotee of the Lord, Arjuna did not like to retaliate against his miscreant cousins and father and brothers, but it was the Lord's plan that they should be all be killed. The devotee of the Lord does not retaliate against the wrongdoer, but the Lord does not tolerate any mischief done to the devotee by the miscreants. The Lord can excuse a person on his own accord, but he excuses no one who has done harm to his devotees. Therefore, the Lord was determined to kill the miscreants, although Arjuna wanted to excuse them. Hare Krishna.
So we can see that even in the previous verses, we saw that Arjuna, because he is a devotee, even in the material world, as we saw in the beginning of the class, we do everything. We buy a nice car, we buy the thing. In fact, I don't know, some of us who have been there, remember there was an ad by Onida, neighbors envy, owners pride.
Owner's pride.
So what does that mean say? So we want to be proud by others envy. So this is a materialistic world. It wants to achieve, it makes others envy. So our happiness is by others envy. So in the material world, if you're achieving everything and you don't have anybody to appreciate you, then we will think, what is the use? A politician, let's say, he might be a big politician. Let's say somebody who is a counselor of that particular place. There he will be very much respected. But if he goes to some other state or some other thing, he will be nobody. And will that person like to live in another person where nobody cares him? He will always like to come back to his place because he knows that there he is surrounded by his well-wishers, by his friends who will respect him, who will respect his positions, who will respect his thing. So people do things because, you know, you wanted to be recognized by your friends, by your relatives. You want to be, शादी भी क्यों इतना धूमधाम से करते हैं? Why they are doing a very elaborate wedding?
To
Mostly
please
because
others only, actually.
to make
That everyone
others
should feel.
You know, I have achieved big, I have done so much, I have done so much for my daughter. So you're doing this not for you, you're doing this for the sake of others. So that is what here Arjuna, he is behaving like a materialistic person, although we know he is not. So he thinks, what is the point of winning, but there won't be anybody to celebrate with? Everybody died, I have the kingdom. What is the purpose of that? It makes no purpose by having something for me where I have nobody to enjoy that. So this is what Arjuna is feeling here. And then here Prabhupada also mentioned that the Lord can tolerate any offense towards himself, but he cannot tolerate the offense of his devotees. So sometimes the devotee, if somebody is talking bad about us, we tolerate it. It's okay. They do not know we are preaching if they are taking bad. But if they are talking against Krishna, if they are talking against Prabhupada, If they are talking against ISKCON, then we don't have to tolerate that. If they are blaspheming against some advanced devotees, then at that time we should not be quiet. Yes, a devotee is supposed to be quiet. He doesn't fight, he doesn't argue, he tolerates everything. But when does he tolerate? He tolerates for himself. But when the fellow devotee and when the Lord is blasphemed, he doesn't tolerate. So here, even in the past times of Nityananda, we saw that Jadai Madai was hurting Nityananda, and Nityananda was ready to excuse him. He was not against them. Even once already they both disrespected him. In spite of that, he went to them because he thought that if he can deliver such a downtrodden people in Kali Yuga, then Lord Chaitanya's teachings will go far and wide, because such a low people, they have changed, then everybody will get inspired and they will take up the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That is why Nityananda, he went back again to Jagai and Madai, even though he was insulted in the first case. And second time when he went, Madai was so much in the drunken and he took a pot and he hit Nityananda's forehead and the blood started oozing him. Then also Nityananda was quiet. He did not curse them or he did not do anything. But when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he took the chakra because he could not tolerate the insult to his devotee, to Nityananda, who is his brother, who is a friend. He could not tolerate that. So for himself, the Lord can tolerate, but the Lord cannot tolerate if somebody else is insulted, a fellow devotee. So this is how the Lord is. So that's why we should be very careful not to do any kind of offenses to the devotees of Krishna. Krishna can tolerate the offense you do to him. But if you're doing any offense against his devotees who are engaged their life and soul in propagating Krishna consciousness and doing, then Krishna will not favor them. So therefore, we should keep ourselves away from doing any kind of offenses to the devotees of Krishna and to this thing. Yes, of course, we will not do for Krishna also, but this is what Krishna says. He can tolerate himself, he can excuse. Even when Jagai he fell down and he was asking for, he was asking for mercy. Then he said, if Nityananda is giving you mercy, it's okay. I cannot do anything because you hurt him. It's up to him now. So if somebody has done any aparad, then that person, the Lord will not forgive that person. That person has to go to the same person to whom he did the aparad. Like Ambrish Maharaj, Durvasa Muni, we know this pastime. Durvasa Muni, the Sudarshan Chakra was following him because Durvasa Muni got so angry at Ambrish Maharaj that he broke the fast in his absence. So the chakra was going for 1 full year. Durvasa Muni was going in all the 3 worlds up and down. Finally, he went to the Vaikunta. He went there in the entrance and Vishnu said that I cannot do anything. You have committed offense to Ambrish. You go to him. If he excuses you, then I am fine. I cannot do anything about it. I have nothing to do here. Then Durvasa Muni, he went back to Ambrish Maharaj, and Ambrish Maharaj is a Vaishnava. For 1 full year, he did not eat anything. He was waiting for Durvasa Muni because he was a guest and he thought that his duty was to first satisfy the guest. And then when Durvasa Muni saw the nature of the Ambrish Maharaj, then he understood how a Vaishnava is, how he is large-hearted. So this is how, the Lord glorifies his devotees a lot. For a Lord, he says that I live in my devotees' heart and devotees live in my heart. Sadhavo hridayam mayyam. I live in the heart of the devotees. And even Narad Muni said, Yatra ghayanti matbhakta tatra pashyanti devata. He is saying to Narad Muni, I don't live in Vrindavan. I don't live in Mathura. I don't live in Vaikunta. I don't live Naham. I'm not living there. I live where my devotees are glorifying me. Yatra gayanti madbhakta tatra ramante Narada, he is saying. I live in the place where my devotees are glorifying me. So even in this small assembly, for a sincere speaker and for a sincere listener, Krishna is present in that assembly. Because he is seeing that sincere efforts of somebody delivering the message and sincere efforts of somebody hearing about him. So there also Krishna is present there. So that is why we have to be in the association, because even if one person has that pure devotion, that sincere thing, to visit that person, Krishna will come. And we are also along with that person. So we also get the benefit. Like your friend, he got an appointment to see the Prime Minister Modi. Because he is your friend, you also join along with him. And you also got the opportunity to meet Modi ji. So likewise, so that shows how important for us to be in a devotee association and to respect the devotees of Krishna, where Krishna cannot tolerate any kind of offense that we cause to his devotees. So this is all we can see how Arjuna was perplexed. He thought, where is the enjoyment? Where is the pleasure? What pleasure I will have? So I don't want to fight. Here he says, I just don't want to fight. He declared. Even if you give all the three words, I am not going to fight. So he has completely, given up. He says that I am done. So Krishna will refute. He will refute all these arguments in the next chapter. And again, Arjuna will ask some more questions, and again, Krishna will answer. So that's how the entire Bhagavad Gita goes. So the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita is mainly the introduction, which sets up the entire reason of Bhagavad Gita coming up. So the entire Bhagavad Gita came because of these 5 reasons. And the answering, refuting, finish this topic of laws of enjoyment by Arjuna, that for the reason for him not to fight. The second reason by Arjuna for not fighting. Okay, any questions here?
Mataji, here he
Yeah.
also says, purport may the Prabhupada also says, he's already, Krishna's already decided.
Killed. Yeah.
It's
He
only
just became an instrument.
we think we are doing, but God has already decided
already
that,
got everything. That's what, Mataji, everything is destined. We only can get whatever is destined for us. People say you work hard, you can win. No, you cannot win. You can only get what is destined by us. It's not that many people can be working as hard as Ambani. Did that make him to have the wealth as Ambani? What about Ambani's children? Are they working very hard? They didn't work very hard, but they are already born in a wealthy family because their karma is helping them to do that. So we can only enjoy whatever is deserved for us. One cannot enjoy even a little bit what is not meant for us. So therefore, whatever comes to us, sometimes Krishna gives us more things. Sometimes Krishna does not give anything to us. Whether he gives us more or whether he doesn't give us anything, we just, a devotee of Krishna accepts it. Sudama, he did not have anything, but still he was very, very reluctant to go to Krishna. It is his wife who sent him. Please go. But Sudama was not willing. Krishna was a friend for a long time. And they departed. Sudama got married. He had children. They were starving for a very, very long time. It's not that Sudama thought, I have a very nice contact. Oh, now I'm suffering. Let me go and approach Krishna. He didn't do that. He accepted everything. Just because the wife wanted him, to go and get Krishna's help. Even going there, Sudama was very reluctant to ask anything. He felt very embarrassed, to go and ask anything. But Sudama did not get affected. Even though Sudama was given the big, big palace, which was even greater than the Indraloka, then also Sudama remained the devotee of Krishna. So sometimes Krishna gives opulence to the devotees. We should not think to those devotees who will not get carried away by that. Like this Mayapur temple, it is 1,000 crore budget or more than that. Who is the main donor of the temple? Anybody knows that? Ford Motors. His name is Ambrish Prabhu. They are the devotees of Krishna. He has contributed 800 crores for the temple. So Krishna has given them, Mataji?
See, it's not easy also
Yeah,
to.
it's not easy. Many people have money, but how many can give? It's not about having, it's about giving. So
Giving.
he has given 800 crores. The rest 200 crores is only managed by other people who are giving here and there little bit of donations. But majority of it is given by him. Krishna has given him opulence and he has given that opulence to others. But how many people? People are very rich in Bombay. You know, people are very rich. They have so many things. Even this Navi Mumbai temple, the Kargar temple, you know how many years it took for them to construct? 15 years. So let it be 100 crore budget. Is the 100 crore a big money for Mumbaikars? If you go to South Bombay, one house will be like 20, 30 crores. Isn't it? People have money, but they don't give it. Why did it take so long for the temple to come up? Because the temple comes up by donation. People have money, but are they ready to give that? No. Even in Salem, there is an ISKCON temple that is getting constructed for last 14, 15 years. From 2011, it is constructed. Stone temple that is coming up. So they started with a budget 12, 14 years back with 12 crores. And now with the inflation and everything that is going up and the increase in the project, it has become close to 50 crores. Even Salem is not a very bad place. There also, there are many people who are, you know, crores and they have. But still they could not complete the temple. Many people come, they participate, they take prasadam, they do, but they are not ready to give the money. Because there also they want to come and they just want to enjoy the kirtan. They want to enjoy the prasadam. Nate vidu swartha gativ na Vishnu, because the self-interest is on themselves, not on Vishnu. So this is a problem we have. So that is what Prabhupada has mentioned. How by satisfying, you know, Krishna, Vishnu, everybody can get satisfied. Okay, Mataji. Any other questions? So whatever Krishna gives by his mercy, he comes, he gives things according to our karma. Sometimes Krishna does things to the devotee in such a way that we become close to him. Like Prabhupada. He was given the instruction by his guru when he was 32 years old to go to West to write books in English and to preach in the West. At that time, Prabhupada thought that he has to make money. He doesn't have money to go to West. He has to earn. He has family to support. Although he carried the instruction with him, he always remembered that, but he did not do that. But Krishna took away everything from him. Krishna took away all his wealth from him. Even his wife left him, even his children left him, everybody left him. And at that situation, Prabhupada can surrender completely to Krishna and he could serve Krishna and he could establish this International Society of Krishna Consciousness. Prabhupada just went in the cargo ship with 40 rupees in his hand, which is hardly $2.50 at that time. And there was no forex also for him to exchange that because India was not such a reputed country then in 1970s. We didn't have many people, you know, who were traveling back and forth and forex and all was needed. Like Indian money didn't have any value at that time, basically. You have a money, you don't even have a forex to exchange that. You know, the currency was like almost invalid. So, but Prabhupada did it by Krishna's mercy. So that's whatever Krishna gives, one should not endeavor too much to increase our material position, whereas one should endeavor to satisfy Krishna. By satisfying Krishna, our senses get automatically satisfied. Okay, Mataji, is it clear? Lekha Mataji and Meera Mataji, any questions? Is everything clear?
Yes, Mataji. And I just I was thinking on the other statement that we discussed in the class about the attachment.
Mm-hmm.
So material attachment, okay, I can understand. We should not go for all this material attachment. But when it comes to family, obviously, it's not. We should not go excessive, but still, there is always a kind of attachment that we have with our family, be it parents or be it kids or whatever it is. But I don't know, is it okay or...
See, Mataji, it is okay to have attachment, but that attachment should come with detachment. Attachment with detachment. You do things that you can help, but there are things that is beyond you. get detached yourself from the result.
Okay.
You help your children to the extent that they need out of you. But later on, whatever happens, whatever is given to you, let's not try to enjoy that fruits of everything. So attachment is also the characteristic of the soul. That's what Prabhupada said. When we are trying to attach ourselves to Krishna, try to attach your family towards Krishna.
Yeah. That is Mother.
Yeah. Attachment is there, like by giving them prasadam, by creating an environment in the family that they can also get into Krishna consciousness. Those are the way in which we are helping the family. No, we cannot be stones. We cannot say, I am the body, you are not the, I am not the body or the soul. You just came as per my karma, so I will not do anything to you. Let me just do japa and do. Arjuna was trying to do the same thing. He just wants to leave everything and go to the forest. But did Krishna allow that?
No. We have our
He
own
said, what
duty.
is the purpose? He said, let me just go in the forest and meditate. No, so
Yeah.
we are supposed to do our prescribed duty. We cannot be without doing our duties, whatever duties, but don't expect the result. The main problem with us is we do the duty and we also expect the result, the fruitive labors. That fruits, that expectation of the result makes us more and more entangled. Like
Yeah.
people, they give some donation to the temple because they have some mangat on that. They think, okay, I'm giving this donation because, I want a promotion in my company. So is it a pure devotion?
No.
No, people do not know actually what is bhakti. Correct. Sometimes you go to the temple and you see that people are very, very seriously, they are praying for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, they are praying. But what do you think they'll be praying? They are praying to satisfy Krishna. They are praying, Krishna, I have this problem, I have that problem, get me out of this, get me out of this. So most of the time, until we came into Krishna consciousness, we thought that we go to temples so that we can ask God what we want. Isn't it, Mataji?
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I should just if I talk about my experience, the same thing, Mother. Even in South Kerala, we have like lot of temples. Even in that 3 to 4 kilometer radius, we have got a good number of temples. But when I was like in my school days, I know, I will just go to temple and like pray for let the exam go well, this, that, all. And whatever I got, I felt, it's all my credit. It's all like I should take the
Yeah.
credit. I should say that after coming to ISKCON, it is like the way at looking at things
It's
changed.
completely changed. Yes. After reading Prabhupada's purports and
Exactly.
Prabhupada's books, entire thing changed. The same with me. I was taught to go to temple because I have to do well in the exam. I was taught to do because you have some things to be done with the God. And I don't know, in Kerala, there are so many temples, no, where you do many kind of things to fulfill your desires, no? I
Yeah,
think there
yeah,
are so many temples you have like that, where you have certain mangat or certain this thing, you go there and they have a belief that it gets fulfilled. But it
yeah,
is all bogus, Mataji. It's all like, like as per our karma, nothing is permanent. Sometimes we are happy, sometimes we are sad, and these things will keep on changing. So, for example, let us take one person who has come to ISKCON and was praying to Krishna and nothing happened. And after some time, he went to some other dongi guru, some other, bogus guru. And maybe his credit is now working. Now, whatever desire he had, he went there and it got fulfilled. Then whom he will start believing?
That guru only.
That
yeah,
dongi guru who was a false guru, but it did not happen because that guru did something. It happened because your time changed. The
yeah,
time you went there, it went. So many organizations in India today are like that. Lakhs and lakhs of people go, of which 10% of the people or 5% of the people would have got credit, because everything is going to change. Happiness is not going to be there with us all the time, or distress is also not going to be there with us all the time. Both
yeah,
are both comes and goes. Mata sparshasta kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkata. Like how the season changes, happiness and distress also keeps changing. But
Yeah.
that distressed person, sometimes when he goes to such a bogus guru and his desire gets fulfilled, he starts developing the faith in that particular person, and he tells to 10 other person, and they come. In that 10 other person, one person achieves success, he tells to 10 other person, and another 10 people come. Can you understand how this works?
Yeah.
But the
Right.
probability is not everybody will be successful. Again, nimittani viparitani.
Yeah.
1,000 people goes, 100 people desire will be fulfilled. Not because you went there, it is getting fulfilled. It will get fulfilled because your karma credit is helping you now. But they think that because they went there,
Yeah, things
their
change. Yeah.
desires got fulfilled. So we think even going to the temple also, like Nate Vidu Swartagatim na Vishnu. Everything we look only for our self-interest. A materialistic person cannot understand that the goal of life is Krishna. You go there in the spiritual world, it's full of happiness,
Yeah.
unlimited happiness. There is no pain at all. But we cannot see through that because everything we are looking through is like a frog in a well. If something, whatever I see, this is all in all. Many people say, kisko pata hai kya hoga marne ke baad? Just because you do not know, so you can lead the life whatever you want. Your soul is carrying the vasanas, the subtle body, the mind, intelligence, and false ego goes with you one body after another body. The gross body gets annihilated, but the subtle body keeps going on and on, like how the air carries the aroma of the flower.
Yeah.
Similarly, the soul is carrying the vasana of this mind. So even if we are, whatever the conditions we die, we take the birth according to the same thing. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajjante kalevaram. Krishna says, whatever consciousness one leave the body, that body one attains for sure. But that knowledge we do not have because we are in the materially bodily conception of life, dehatma buddhi. Everything we think is about only the body. We are just the body and our kingsmen and our country, our things. So because of that, we are suffering.
Ignorance. Yeah.
Ignorance. Otherwise, world is full of sufferings. Today, everything is a suffering. With the artificial intelligence coming in the place, people are losing the jobs. And many things like chat GPT and other thing coming up, we don't even have books to read, but one has to adapt to that. So with this ever-changing world that we are today, where is the happiness? There's no happiness at all. There is only stress. People traveling so hard in the trains, going and coming day in and day out and everything. Where is the happiness? They just try to hear something in the phone, thinking that by watching some series or by watching something, they'll be happy. But they will get more and more irritated in a long. They don't understand, these things are not going to give them happiness. But what to do? Sense gratification, instantly you get some pleasure. But when you're in the path of bhakti, it takes some time. That's what Rupa Goswami says. Utsaha, dhairya, nishyat. You should have enthusiasm and you should have determination and you should have patience. These three things are needed in devotional service: enthusiasm, patience, and determination. So even though it is taking time for us to realize that thing, but we need to be patient and we should keep up that enthusiasm and we should be determined. But that takes time. So people don't want to take that. Just by chanting one Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, you cannot get the immediate Prema Bhakti. It is a process. All the Anartha Nivriti, everything has to happen. Yes, the mantra will act on you, but we also have so much of contamination in us. All that has to go. Isn't it, Mataji? This is the problem. But sense gratification, when senses are gratified, people are immediately happy because, like a child is happy immediately when you give something to the child. If a child is having a toy which is very attached, you try to pull the toy from the child, then what will the child will cry so loudly? How much the child will cry. So like that, we are also so much attached to everything. So when something is removed from us, we cannot take it up. Can you understand, Lekha Mataji?
Yeah.
Like how the child. So the more we
Right.
are attached, the more we lose that thing, what will happen to us?
Sorrows.
We'll be so much broken. So that's why it is okay to be attached, but try to remain detached also.
Detached.
Attachment with detachment. We are not
Yeah.
stones. We are not giving up the family. We have to do our duty, but try to remain detached. Do whatever you can. Don't put your head beyond that. I know one of the Mataji was telling that, she was responding, Mataji, next 3 years, I cannot do anything. I cannot, everything, I'm so busy. What you're busy? Because my son is going to 10th standard. Until he finished 12th, I am going to be totally busy. Good. She's dedicating her life for her son. Maybe he wants to become an IITN or he wants to become a doctor. Absolutely fine. But nimittani viparitani. After that, if his credit did not help him to do well in that exam, if he does not do, what will happen to her? And what will happen to
Shattered.
that son? 3 years, both mother and son were only beyond this thing, nothing else in the world. Then I said, okay, Mataji, but at least, yeah, I always remember Krishna. I never forget Krishna. How can it be possible, Mataji? You cannot spare 1 hour to listen to Krishna in 1 week, and you say you're always remembering Krishna, but right now I am so busy. Does it two things goes together?
No, that is too much of an attachment.
No, but that person is saying that she always remember Krishna, that she will never forget, but she's too much attached that 1 hour of class also she cannot spare in a week. So do you think if somebody is so much devoted to Krishna can remember? And I say, no, I don't want to hear anything about Krishna. 1 hour of the week is how much percentage, Mataji? Of the week, 24 times 7 is like
It's
150
not
hours.
easy, Mataji. It's not easy. Just we think Krishna just like that. It is not easy.
That is what I am saying. You don't have time to spare even 0.1% of your time to Krishna. Then how can you remember Krishna all the time?
It is continuous process, Mataji.
That's what I'm saying. They say they remember Krishna, but it's not so. That is excessive attachment. 3 years, mom, mother and son not thinking anything. We do not know unless otherwise you have credit. The best of the best children who do very good in their mock exams and other things, they may do very badly on the day of the exam. Many factors are there for things to happen. It's just not your own hard work. It's Supreme's will. It is about your endeavors. It is about your karma. There are so many factors for something to happen, not just one factor. That we forget. We think only hard work, only hard work. No, hard work is needed, but that's not the only factor. We need the karma credit also, even in the material world, for something to happen. In spiritual life, we need mercy. We need mercy of the pure devotees. We need mercy of Guru. We need mercy of the devotees. By mercy, we get spiritual knowledge and spiritually we advance. But materially, you need karma credits. Without your karma helping, like in your credit card, Mataji, you have only 1 lakh limit. After you are done with 1 lakh, even 1 rupee you cannot spend. Unless otherwise you get another credit card.
Yeah.
So how will you do just by your hard work if your credit is not there for you to get it? So that the materialistic people don't understand and they keep, hankering for it and they go for it. They work so hard and they do this, that, so many things. And then finally what happens? Frustration and depression. So we see so many counselors, so many psychologists, so many psychiatrists, everybody has sprouted up. If you see after post-COVID, these people have all sprouted. Why? Because people are depressed.
Yeah, they are all stressed.
They do not know, but they have to consult Bhagavad Gita. Krishna is the biggest counselor. By taking the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, we all can be happy. That is why, Mataji, now we are doing a preaching in one of the school by Krishna's mercy in my neighborhood, one of the schools. So yesterday we started our first session for the 11th grade students. So close to around 100 students attended the class.
Oh, wow. That's good.
It was very nice. At least these students who are in 11th grade, when they get the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, they will know how to face through the life.
Very important.
Yeah.
That is
And
the
they
right
were all
time.
listening, Mataji, with rapt attention.
Yeah.
We could see that nobody was distracted. Everybody was hearing with rapt attention. So it is now whom to blame? To blame the society or to blame the government and to blame the everything who is not giving the Bhagavad Gita to our children? Whom to blame?
Exactly. Yeah.
So we cannot say children don't want. If you're giving them, they are learning.
Right.
I know some of the little high schools like Podar and other schools, Mataji, we met the principal, we left all the books, one big briefcase of books we left. We have so many books for children's adults. After 1 week, we were asked to take back the books. They didn't even allow us to distribute the books in the open house. Forget about preaching. We thought at least distributing books, some books, some Prabhupada's book, when they read, it can cause some transformation in few people. That also they didn't agree. At least keep the books in the library. That also they didn't agree. They can keep all the Harry Potter, this tale, that tale, everything, all the nonsense books they can keep, but they don't want to keep Bhagavad Gita in their school.
Yeah, very true, Madhuri. Yeah, that is
And
very
the children are uncontrollable. The principal herself is saying, parents are complaining, this sort of thing, we do not know what to do. And they are doing some value education class, taking some teaching from the West. What values they have, Mataji? You know yourself, Mataji. They themselves have no values and we are taking the values from them.
Yeah.
What they say, do whatever you want. Go for
Yeah.
a kill.
Yeah, East is following West, Mataji.
Yeah. That is the problem.
Yeah.
And do whatever you want. You're all winners. So all the 1,000 kids who are coming to BIM, there are so many IIT colleges to accommodate everyone. No. Every year, 15 lakh students are applying just for 15,000 seats. Where is the percentage? And people are coaching from 6th grade. For that, they are ready to give their children as a slave of that course, of that thing. But they don't want them to read one stroke of Bhagavad Gita one day. So what to do? Because parents are not interested, not to blame the children.
Yeah, but I was about to come to that point only. I mean, if parents are aware of if they know they will impart the same thing to their kids also.
Yeah. They don't teach them. That is the problem today. The society is totally, in ignorance. It's we cannot even say Rajasic. It's fully Tamasic. Totally in ignorance. Yesterday there was a birthday party which my daughter was attending. So few of them were messaging the child birthday wishes. So, I message around 4 o'clock, 4:15 every day, and people were messaging around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. One of them, what did she message? How come people are waking up so early on Saturday morning and messaging? So it appears to be a crime to wake up early on Saturday morning. Why are people waking up so early on Saturday morning? That is our question. So what do you say, Mataji? What kind of children she will raise? What kind of example you're setting in?
Yeah.
What do you raise?
All crazy.
Yeah. So this is a thing, at least we are doing little efforts, which is within our capacity. We are preaching in 2 schools now, one school, another BMC school for 8th grade students we are doing, and one is for 11th grade students. So we are trying to do our part of doing something to the youngsters with our little capacity, whatever is possible within us. Yeah.
All the best, Mataji. It's a very nice service, and especially 11th grade and all. It's very crucial in terms of not only the studies, even like
yes, Mataji, very important. Otherwise, children get frustrated. They get depressed today. Even yesterday we have the children class of Bhagavad Gita. 7-year-old boy. I don't know. He turned 7 or he's still 6. Also, I don't know. What did he use the word? Stress.
See, that's the problem.
Did we even know this word stress when we were 6, 7 years old? I don't know. I never remember this word stress. At the age of 6 and 7, did we know there is a word called stress?
No way.
I feel pity for We feel pity for these children, Mataji,
Yeah,
actually,
Mataji,
na,
six,
when they grow big,
7-year-old children is talking about
what they
stress.
must be going through
Yeah,
also
that
when
is
they
what
grow
I'm
big.
telling. Because parents are always talking that way. What is it? Again, as Lekam, it is also up to us. We
Yeah,
are
yeah,
not bringing Krishna in the center. We are
yeah.
not living the life. We are not giving them the goal of life is Krishna. We are living the life. Goal of life is to enjoy your senses. Senses will never be satisfied. Like if you're putting the oil in the fire will become more or the fire will become less.
Mm.
So
Exactly.
every desire you fulfill, two other desire crops up.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
True.
another desire you fulfill, another two more desires will come.
Mm.
Never ending.
Never,
Never.
desires are like that. The more you fulfill. But the same thing, do desire, but desire for Krishna. Offer some nice boga for Krishna. You all, family wants to eat something nice. Offer a nice boga for Krishna. 1 week back, my son was telling, they wanted to eat some naan and some thing. And they said, Mama, we want to order. Then I said, look for onion garlic. Hardly there was any option where you could get the Jain sabzi of the
Jane.
paneer thing. So we are not getting anything. What to do? He was telling. I feel like eating it. You never allow us to eat outside. It's been ages that we are not eating at all. Then I told, okay, maybe let me try. I will try a new recipe. I will make some nice paneer sabzi and I will make the naan. And he was thinking, okay, at least naan we will get. I don't think so. You can make good naan. Make the sabzi, at least naan we will get it. But I said that, okay, give me an opportunity. Let me try, I said. And I tried Mataji and it came very good.
Very
The
good.
children enjoyed it.
Very nice.
So they had a desire to eat. But I told, okay, let us offer it to Krishna and have it as a prasadam. Why do we have to buy it from outside?
Correct. Yeah.
And then they happily ate. In fact, I had a plan of making 6, but 8 came and all the 8 got over. So it's like that, Mataji. These are the things, Mataji, where we can go extra mileage for our children. That
Correct.
attachment. If they want to eat something nice, try to look and make some nice prasadam for them. By eating them, their soul also gets nourished.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a
At
good
least
point.
I avoid, as long as they are in my thing, I don't get them outside food. Yes, they go to birthdays and everything. We can't stop them. They are too young to resist that,
Hmm.
going to a party and not eating anything. But at least within us, we go. And if we want to go, we go to restaurants like Govindas, where we get prasadam. We have nice Govindas in Mumbai.
Yeah.
We have
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Govindas in Juhu, we have 2 options. We have bistro where they have continental and different food, and you have normal food. And in Chowpatty, ISKCON also, you have nice prasadam, different varieties you have. So if you want to eat out, that also he said, Mama, if you want to eat anything, always only Govindas. There's nothing else you get for us other than Govindas. So they will have, but at least, we have to give them a desire because they are seeing their friends, posting, buying,
Yeah.
eating, taking a picture, posting in the group. So they are tempted. Why don't we also eat it? That's a problem. Okay, Mataji, we took a little longer time.
Yeah.
Okay, most of them left, but it's okay. I mean, I know everybody has to cook. Even I have to go to temple today. We have some meeting at 10 o'clock. I should get ready, make some breakfast and everything and go there. So we will stop the class. I think Narsimharti will do by ourselves. Okay.
Okay,
Yes,
ma'am.
Mataji. Thank you,
So
Mataji.
Vancha
Hare
Kalpata
Krishna.
Rubhyasya, because today's topic, so much was there to discuss on these topics. So it went more,
No,
you
no
know.
problem.
Yeah.
No problem.
Vancha kalpata rubhyascha kripa sindhu
Kripa
vaeva
Sindhu
cha
Evacha
patitanam
Patitanam
pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
namo
Namo
namaha.
Namaha.
Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila
Jai
Prabhupada
Shri
ki jai,
Prabhupada ki
Bhagavad
jai.
Gita as it is ki jai.
It is
Hare
ki jai.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna.
Hare
Mataji.